And I now genuinely think I'm having a fever dream. So, if you're just joining us, Glenn went to see a film called Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I was excited because I'd seen the trailer for Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris and thought it looked wonderful. Glenn gave it a lovely review. He said films where nothing much happens are wonderful. So I said, come on, Glenn, let's share your review of Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. And he shared his review, and it was nothing like the trailer. So I was confused. And then Kathy came on. She said she'd seen the trailer, but it didn't seem like the trailer that I'd seen. And now Trish has been on.
Yeah.
Glenn,
This all makes perfect sense.
Glenn, is this a moment?
It was a great film. She went to Paris and she came back again.
Glenn, you know I was telling you earlier that I'd fallen asleep and saw a message from my friend John, but forgot I was asleep, so thought I dreamt it, and then it turned out it was real. Is this the opposite? Am I now asleep? Because nothing's making sense. I actually feel like I am in a foggy dream.
Well, you remember we were looking for coincidences, coinky-dinkies?
Yeah.
Trish has just come up with a great one.
But I thought she was talking about Mrs. Harris Went to Paris.
She is. So...
Should I read out Trish's message and see if anyone else can...
In Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris...
Yeah.
We establish that she buys a dress and comes back again.
Yeah.
Trish was on a train. You know Trish was on holiday recently in Norfolk.
She was... When she went to Felbridge on the train, Trish tells us there was a woman there in a French coat.
Yeah, there was. Sort of a fancy French coat. I think she said it was an Astrazat. What's a Vauxhall Astravan?
Astrakhan. Hang on, how did Trish know that this woman's coat was French? Did she go and say, oh, bonjour?
She said to this woman, oh, I love your coat. Is that a Vauxhall Astravan?
Right.
And she said, yeah, what was it called again?
Astrakhan.
Is that Astrakhan?
Is that a real coat? Hang on.
And she said, yes, it is Astrakhan. And she said it's French, and she showed. But she says it's a coincidence or a coinky-dinky that we were talking about Mrs. Harris going to Paris and buying a dress when she had gone and met the woman who was wearing a French coat.
I am so confused. An Astrakhan isn't even a coat, it's a place. Oh, no, wait, it's a coat. If you spell it the correct way, it's a coat. Oh, fancy coat as well. Very.
She says Kathy would know what an Astrakhan would be.
Kathy's off to church.
She is. We don't want to bother Kathy again, do we?
So basically, are we still no further forward that nobody has seen, apart from you, Mrs. Harris Has Gone to Paris? Me and Kathy have seen the advert, and we don't agree on the plot. You don't agree on the plot, and Trish saw someone in a French coat on a train.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense, Louise.
I am definitely asleep. There's no way this day...
I don't know why you're confused.
There's no way this day is real. If you can help me, please do. I think I'm losing my mind. 08000 85 95 96. If you have seen... And why am I even saying if you've seen? Why? You don't even need to have seen it. Why not? No one else has. If you want to talk about Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris and make sure it relates in no way to the film, that would be great. 08000 85 95 96. I'm off for a sit down.